blow dry, and thermal curling. 20 minutes. You have 2 minutes to remove the supplies from your kit for the blow dry, styling, and thermal curling section of this examination. Please do not begin any procedures until the verbal instructions have been read and you are instructed to begin. You may begin setup. So the next procedure that you'll have will be your thermal curling section and blow drying section of the practical examination. Now, the first thing that you want to do is before any service is you want to go ahead and you want to sanitize your hands. So I'll go ahead and grab my sanitizer and sanitize my hands properly. Table setup. You will have 2 minutes to complete this assignment. So after I have sanitized my hands, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a blue paper towel, which will be my disposable SMA. I'm going to go ahead and place it directly onto my linen SMA. And I'm going to go ahead and come to my shop area and grab the actual blow dry, styling, and thermal curling baggie. And I'm going to go ahead and set up my station. I'm going to go ahead and open the bag. And I'm going to go ahead and place all my tools. I'm going to grab my styling comb and place it directly on top of my disposable SMA. I'm going to grab my vent brush and place it directly on top of my SMA. I'm going to grab my rat tail comb and my all-purpose comb and place them directly on top of my disposable SMA. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my clips, my butterfly clips, and place them directly on top of my disposable SMA. Now, you do have an extra sheet of paper, or it's the testing paper, and you're going to go ahead and place that directly on top. Now, what happens to this baggie? You're going to go ahead and you're going to seal it and place it directly on the bottom shelf, because we're no longer going to need that. How to plug in your blow dryer. Once I've placed my actual tools on my disposable SMA, the next step is to connect your actual blow dryer. So what you want to do is you want to place your blow dryer directly on top of your station. You place it on top, and I already checked my cord and everything is good to go, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. So once I've plugged in my actual blow dryer, now what you have to do is this actually concludes the actual setup for the blow drying and thermal styling section of this examination. Now what you want to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to sanitize your hands, like so, and wait till the actual product has evaporated from your hands, and you're going to go ahead and wait for further instructions. When the 2 minutes have elapsed, the proctor will read the instructions. You will now perform the blow dry styling section of this examination. You will blow dry only the top and one side of the head. You will be observed for client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section, and you will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. When the examiner tells you you may begin, the first thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and go over to your SMA and grab your actual rat tail comb. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and start to section her. The sectioning should start from the eyebrow arch and directly create a part. Now the width of the actual part should be the length of the actual 3-barrel part, okay? So maybe about 3 inches out. Then you want to go ahead and create an actual other line. So you're going to create like an L. And you're going to bring the entire line all the way to behind the ear. It should look like this. How to clip the section. I'm going to go ahead and section this portion and then just wrap it in and clip this section. You want to make sure that as a stylist that you show the examiner that you have full control with your fingers and that you always have your actual rat tail comb in your hand while you're sectioning and clipping the entire hair. I'm going to grab another butterfly clip and actually just clip this entire section. Tips on how to prepare the model for the blow dry. Once I have clipped both sections, you want to make sure that your actual subsections and the parts that you create are very neat so that the examiner knows that you have full control over the entire procedure. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and check to see if my actual rat tail comb is free from any debris, any hair. And if it has any hair, remove it, throw the extra hair into the trash can, and I can go ahead and place my actual rat tail comb on the disposable SMA. At this point, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and saturate the hair with water so that I can begin my blow dry. I'm going to go ahead and remove this clip, and I'm going to go ahead and place this clip onto my SMA, free from debris and free from any hair. So I'm going to place it back onto my disposable SMA, and I'm going to go ahead and start to saturate the hair with water. Now, these are some ways that we can protect our model by applying or spraying or saturating the hair, is by actually using your hand to protect your forehead and actually spraying the entire hair with water. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the entire hair is saturated with water, and I'm going to go ahead and spray it away from her face. You want to make sure that from 0 to 100, the actual percentage of saturation of water should be maybe about like 20 to 30% of saturation. Remember, this is your exam and you're being timed, so you don't want to have a full 100% saturation of water onto the entire hair because it's going to take you longer to dry. So maybe about 20 to 30% saturation would be a great idea. Tips on blow drying the hair. To have maximum control over the blow drying section of this examination, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and divide this entire section into two. So you'll have two subsections. I'm going to go ahead and use the actual eyebrow arch from this section and create a part like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clip this entire section with a butterfly clip and section it off. At this point, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and check my rat tail comb to see if it's free from any debris. Place it on top of my disposable SMA, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my vent brush and my blow dryer. If you do not have a concentrator, it's fine, just as long as you demonstrate to the examiner that you are using the direct flow away from the scalp and away from the face. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a subsection. With my fingers, I parted it, and I'm going to grab my vent brush and I'm going to go underneath, and I'm going to turn on my blow dryer, and I'm going to direct the airflow away from the scalp, not to the scalp, away from the scalp, and begin to dry the entire section like so. I'm going to grab another section and do the same thing, and direct it away from the face, away from the scalp, and dry the entire section. I'm going to do the same thing to the front portion and dry the entire section. When I am done with the entire bottom section, I'm going to continue to do the top section. Now, because sometimes I don't have full control over the entire section, what I can do is I can turn off my blow dryer, place it on top of my table. I still have my vent brush, but I still have my right hand free, so I can remove the entire clip away from the actual strand or the section's hair, and I'm going to go ahead and remove any debris from the actual clip, throw the debris or the hair into the trash bag, and place the actual clip on my disposable SMA. I'm going to come back and with my blow dryer section this entire section, grab my vent brush, and continue to repeat the sections that I did on the bottom towards the top. Now remember, it is important that we show the examiner that we have full control over the entire section of the hair, and that we are showing our safety precautions for our client, that we don't burn the client when we direct the airflow to the scalp or to the face, that we have full control over the entire section of when we're blow drying. Once the hair is already 100% completely dry, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn my blow dryer off. Now at this point, you may have some hair on top of your comb, and what you want to do is, at this point, you can actually throw it into your instruments to be disinfected. So I'm going to go ahead and do so. I will not need this brush for the next procedure. Once you are done, what you want to do is you want to step back and you want to wait for further instructions. You have just completed the blow drying portion of this examination. Once the 10 minutes have elapsed, you will hear from your proctor. You will now perform the thermal curling section of this examination. You will form 3 curls on top of the head and 4 curls on one side of the head. You will be observed for client protection, safety, and infection control procedures. You will have 10 minutes to complete this section, and you will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin. Okay, so the blow drying section should have taken you 10 minutes to complete. And now after the examiner has told you to begin your actual curling section of the examination, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and move your actual model and turn her to the side. The cord isn't long enough, so you want to make sure that you have enough space so that you feel comfortable using the actual curling iron. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come behind and I'm going to unlock the chair by pressing the hydraulic down. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn her around and make sure to press the hydraulic up again so that I can lock the chair. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to grab your rat tail comb and you want to go ahead and section the entire section and subsection it, to where you're going to be creating your 3 curls on top. They're going to be barrel curls using the curling iron, and you're going to do barrel curls going downward as well. You're going to do 3 on the top, 4 on the side. And what you want to do is you always want to maintain the same base. So what I'm going to do is, what I'm going to demonstrate, it's going to be on base. So I'm going to actually over direct, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it with the curling iron and place it on top. You do not need any pins or clips for this. Demonstrating to the proctor the precautionary steps while using the thermal curling iron. Before I begin to use the curling iron, I have to measure the temperature of the actual curling iron. What I want to show the examiner is that I know exactly what heat setting I'm using for the texture of her hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my actual paper, my strip, and I'm going to go ahead and open the barrel and place the actual curling iron on top of the actual paper. Leave it on for about 2 seconds and then let go. If the paper turns any brownish, yellowish color, this means that the actual curling iron is way too hot. But because we actually have a measured temperature, and like I said before, you want to go ahead and have it at a 300 to a 380. Do not exceed after 380. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and grab this piece of paper and throw it onto my trash bag. I'm going to grab my actual rat tail comb and I'm going to begin to section and wrap the entire hair. Now at this point, what I want to do is you want to take the measurements as far as the barrel. So you want to make sure that the subsections that you grab are the diameter of the actual barrel. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and place my actual curler down because I need to section it off first. So I'm going to place it on my SMA and I'm going to go ahead and section it. So now that I have sectioned my hair, I'm going to go ahead and grab my actual curling iron. What I'm going to do with my rat tail comb is I'm going to place it on my left hand and my right hand is going to be free so that I can grab my actual barrel. I'm going to go ahead and remove the stand and I'm going to go ahead and over direct the entire hair. Now what you want to do is you want to start with the barrel at the actual shaft of the hair, which is the center. Then what you want to do is you're going to bring the entire section, the ends, and wrap it around. And what you're going to do is you're going to open the actual clamp and you're going to go ahead and feed it onto the ends. You're going to give it maybe about like a couple of twirls and then you're going to feed a little bit more of the ends inside. You're going to repeat the same steps all the way down until all the ends are inside the actual clamp. Now before the actual barrel gets closer to the scalp, what you want to do to protect it is you want to go ahead and place the actual rat tail comb underneath. You're gonna wait maybe about like 10 seconds, and then you're gonna go ahead and open the clamp. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep on opening the clamp while the actual rat tail comb holds the entire hair. So at this point, you have just created an actual barrel curl that's on base. A closer look. Start by over directing the hair strand so that you can achieve an on-base level curl. Place the thermal curling iron directly onto the shaft of the hair. begin to wind the hair into the curling iron, and as you proceed to feed the actual hair into the barrel, making sure to leave the ends free, because we all know that ends that are porous will absorb heat faster and therefore will damage the entire hair. This is how we are showing the State Board proctor that we are taking the precautionary measures to avoid any heat damage onto those ends. To protect the model when using the thermal curling iron, make sure to place the rat tail comb directly onto the scalp area so that you can go ahead and protect the scalp from any burns that may be caused with the thermal curling iron. How to properly curl the hair. Over direct the hair to achieve on base barrel curl. To avoid damaging the ends, start by applying heat to the middle of the strand of the hair. Avoid obtaining fish hooks by feeding the entire ends to the barrel. Use the comb to protect the scalp. Allow the curling iron to stay for 10 seconds and allow the rat tail comb to add tension while you're opening and closing the clamp to freely remove the barrel. Working on the lateral sides. Once I have already done my barrel curls on top, on base, what I want to do is I want to create 4 on the side. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and divide this section by half. And I'm going to begin to have a barrel curl here, a barrel curl here, here, and here to create 4 barrel curls. So I'll start with the front section. Once again, using the same rules of the diameter, what you want to do is you want to grab a section. And I'm going to go ahead and over direct it because I still want it to land directly on its base. So I'm going to over direct it, bring the barrel into the middle section, give it a twirl, and feed in the entire ends. Creating the 4 curls on the lateral side of the head. How to release the curl. You will need to repeat these steps until you have formed 4 curls on the lateral sides. Once you have completed the curls on the lateral sides, the finished product should look like this. So once you have finished with the actual curling iron, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to step back. And the examiner is going to come in and see the entire finished product. At this point, they're going to check for any fish hooks. So if you see any of the ends sticking out like this way where it just doesn't go with the curl, that means you have a fish hook. But what it should look like is exactly the way that it is here. You have 3 barrel curls on the top on base and 4 barrel curls on the bottom, which are on base. Once the proctor has revised your curls and you hear, "You may clean up," you need to store the tools properly. How to clean up. So when the examiner comes and he checks and he okays it, what you're going to do next is they're going to ask you to clean up your station. So automatically what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to turn your curling iron off. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to place your butterfly clips in the instruments to be disinfected. You're going to place your styling comb. You're going to place your all-purpose comb and your rat tail comb into the box where it's labeled instruments to be disinfected. You're going to seal it, and your disposable SMA is now thrown to the trash. Now what you do is, for the actual blow dryer and the curling iron, is you're going to go ahead and you're going to unplug them. Stop. How to properly store the curling iron. I have now unplugged my electrical tools, and what I'm going to do with the actual curling iron, because it is hot, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab a linen towel for my extra baggie, and I'm going to go ahead and spray it with water. So I'm going to saturate it with water, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap the entire curling iron around to cool the heat, or to cool the actual barrel from the heat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the actual extension cord and wrap that around the curling iron. I'm going to place that directly where I have left my electrical tools on my shelf, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same for my blow dryer. You will need to sanitize your hands. Step back and wait for further instructions. You have now completed the blow dry and thermal section of this practical examination. Remember that with practice and dedication, you will be a successful licensed cosmetologist. Good luck!